Okay, hope this video isn't going to be too long, but I just got back from the local Scout Trade ORE is what they call it. And what that is if you were a Boy Scout, you don't even have to be a Boy Scout, but you can show up to this tradery, pay your $5 to get in. You got a bidding marker, so you can bid on stuff if you wanted to. And they have what they call a country store or general store or whatever with a bunch of stuff that's been donated over the years. And a huge pile of stuff that they've been lugging around for many years. And they make some usually very great prices on some of these things. And then you have your regular like baseball card type vendors. So you have like your tables that people pay fees on and they display their stuff whether it's for sale or just to show. And some people bring their stuff and don't even display all of it. It's just quite amazing to see all this stuff here. And sometimes these events here, you might only have one in your state, 2 or 3 or 4 in your state, and maybe once a year. And also, this is the only time, like, the Mangini collection, the only time you're ever going to see this is that one particular event. There is some amazing stuff there. And then a lot of these guys have been collecting for 50 years and they don't value the stuff as much as you do. So there might be some really amazing things that you get for a couple dollars that you see on eBay for $40 or $50. So I'm going to try to show everything I have here. I could have bought more, I could have brought more money, but I don't want to take a lot of stuff home because I'm not a museum, or at least yet. This is one of my famous binders right here that I've shown on YouTube before, and this is a display I recently put together of just some basic stuff here. It probably is comprised of all of $10 worth of stuff on there, but that's just how I wanted to do that. It's just all random stuff there, and people love these little displays. They like to see, because nothing more than a guy seeing a patch or a badge he's never seen in his entire life, but more often than not, hey, look it, I've got this one, or I've got that postcard at home. And that's what I like to do, is show off stuff, and I did not set up there at all. But once you bid on stuff and you paid for your auction, they put all your auction win in this bag here. Thank you for supporting the Ed Harris Memorial Tradery auction, providing camp scholarships for scouts of the Cascade Pacific Council. So scout camp, going off to camp and that sort of thing is very expensive for kids, and that is what that is for. Ed Harris, unfortunately, has deceased. I guess I did never really know of him. I think I knew of him, but I'm not sure that I met him. And he was a big-time scout collector. And a lot of times the scout collector, it's like anybody in different card groups or ham radio enthusiasts. Some of their collections are so massive, and then it doesn't come out to the public until they pass on. So let's get into some of the stuff here. We'll start off with some of the real common stuff here. These are Merit Badge Books radio. I think I picked that up for a friend. I may have gotten, I don't want to say I overpaid, but I got these 3 for $5, and I really wanted, because I only brought like $40 with me, essentially $40 or $50. 5 of that went to, and this one unfortunately got water stained. It's one of the stinkiest books here, but I just thought the cover was kind of cool. I don't know, I'll double check and see if I have those. So there are those. So Merit Badge Books, although they're really cool, they're not super valuable. Some editions are. This Eagle Scout badge came from the auction, and I already have an Eagle Scout badge in better condition, but what it came with was this Eagle Scout ring here, and it came with a couple other small items. I think a bolo tie. I was high bidder on this. I was only one bidder on it on the minimum bid. I think I ended up putting an extra $1 in there just to see if I could get things going. This is a sterling silver ring, probably out of the 50s. I'm not really sure, but it's old and it'll probably clean up very nicely. I've always wanted an Eagle Scout ring, so that is very cool. Look up Eagle Scout rings. You'll be shocked at what the prices of those are. And then in another lot here, I got some miscellaneous stuff in this one, and I was again the minimum bidder on here. This is a 1953 Jamboree ring from Irvine Ranch, California. It is also sterling silver, and I just thought it was a cool ring, and it's adjustable, so I could theoretically wear that. So that's a very unusual and interesting item, and that's very, very cool. And then you see these quarters here. Well, there was a huge bag of quarters. This American Historic Society Genuine Coin Collection. I know about the American Historic Society. They're not really all that what they're cracked up to be. But there was all these quarters in there. So I said, you know what, I'm going to bid on them. They were in these plastic holders, and they were getting scratched in there. I don't know what to do with these yet, because it's not something I really collect. But I thought, you know what, those are worth at least 25 cents a piece. And again, I was the only bidder on those, the only one. That's absolutely crazy. And then I bought a few patches from a vendor, and he said, oh, just take them 5 for $1. I said, okay. So I got this cool, the Great Canadian Shoreline Cleanup, Le Grand Nettoyage des Rivages Canadiens. So that's kind of cool. Winter Camp, San Emigdio Tecuya. Don't know what that is, but I thought that was kind of cool. So I got $2 worth. College of Commissioner Science, Cascade Pacific Council. So my current council that I would be in would be Cascade Pacific. It used to be Cascade Area Council, and I collect those badges. There's one here somewhere. It may not be on this table. Here's Pioneering the Future, Scoutorama 1978, Oregon Trail Council. I just picked up another. This is the Girl Guides of Canada. I collect these shoulder patches here, and I'm not sure I had the Golden Empire Council. It's used, but you know what? For 5 for $1. Portland Area Council, Scoutorama. I saw people with these types of things on the old uniforms, and that's really cool to see. There are some really cool displays. If you ever get to go to a scout, it's really, really fun. I'm not saying that you're going to have a lot of people, because a lot of people didn't have prices on their stuff, so you don't always know what to pay. And there's Alamo Area Council. I probably already have that, but that could be going into a care package. This one I paid a whole $1 for at another table. Boy Scouting, we do it in the outdoors. I don't think you'd be able to put that on a button anymore. This is probably from the 70s. That's my guess. Maybe the early 80s, but I just thought I'll just have that for $1. This one here I paid $1 for because I was being nice, and this is the Cascade Area Council 1987. So I was in scouting back then, so that's kind of cool. This one here, at least somebody had $4.50. This is an Eagle Scout. I guess the National Eagle Scout Association. I'm not really part of that, but anyway, there is the bolo tie for that. That came with a ring. And I got this Mount St. Helens Climb 2012 Troop 107. Nothing special there. And again, another Cascade Pacific Council Pride of Pioneer. Otherwise, I'd be paying $1 a table, and I got that for that 25 cents or whatever. So let's go into a few other things here. These were all $1 a piece. Green Bar Bill training. I had the great idea that I would take some of the better neckerchiefs and make a blanket out of those, but I just never got around to it. You don't know what to do. You don't know if you're going to save this whole square or cut out the rest of the fabric. I just don't know what to do. I've only seen 1 or 2 out there. This one is kind of a cut one, or it doesn't have a sewed edge on it. This one says St. George's Troop BSA 502. Somebody said, they had a patch or a blanket made out of this kind of stuff, and you don't wash them very often because otherwise, boom, get ruined. This one looks like it's it's just folded weird there. And I don't think I had a generic Webelos one. That's just probably from the 80s or 90s. It was mint condition, probably very used, very little. There was a lot of brand new old stock, or what some people call dead stock there, brand new in the bag items, and I paid $1 for that. It's probably worth 50 cents, but again, a lot of it goes to charity, so that's good. One of the coolest things I got, well actually we'll go into this here. This was in one of those little auction bags. And Boy Scout Jamboree, it's really hard to read, 1955, Niagara Falls, Canada, Niagara on the Lake. And this is some sort of little ashtray or something like that. I guess is what they would call an ashtray. So that's kind of unusual. That's when smoking, I guess, was acceptable to some people. And they said, kids, don't smoke, but guess what? Here's an ashtray. I'm not sure. And then one of the most unusual items I will share for last here. Here's a Wauna Le Monte, I probably said that wrong there, patch. That's the lodge that changed to when I was in Scouts, and then the previous one is what I had. So it went to this, and then I went and left the Scout program. So this is a newer badge. Somebody said it was probably from there was a lot of collectors there. I think I paid $2, and the guy said, oh, okay, $1. And I said, no, I'll pay the $2. So I paid him $2 for that. He thought I was being nitpicky. I said, no, I'm just going to set this down for a second. He thought maybe I was just going to put it back. $2. But anyway, I paid him the $2 for that, so I could have had that for $1. And as I say, the most unusual item here is this. I don't know how well it'll show up on camera, but this is a very early military or Boy Scout uniform. And the reason why I'm thinking it was military, it's got this stripe here. I'm not sure what that is right there. If anybody knows anything about early uniforms here, this could be a World War I era uniform. I am not really sure. Could date back to the 20s, or I have no... I put it on, I barely fit it, but it's got these eagle buttons right here. So right there, that's what I was thinking was military at first, and I don't know if the Scout uniforms had this stripe on here. No clue. So that guy that sold me that button for $1, the Scouting Does It Outdoors, he gave me all these Scout buttons here. These are probably 40s or 50s, I'm not really sure. They came on a ring and they're separate. Maybe they're older than that. And he gave me enough to fill out the shirt there. And then I'm digging through the pockets here after I get home, and lo and behold, there's a bunch of these in there. Oh my gosh. And these are larger. You can see the difference between the two buttons right here. So that's the difference between the two. Let's try to get a better shot here. This little small one here and that large one there. So it doesn't show up on camera, but there's a size difference. That's amazing. I'm going to try to do a slideshow after this, and I just can't tell if that's, I think this is a US uniform here. Just absolutely amazing. You don't even want to know what I paid for that. $5. I paid $5 for this. I couldn't believe. I just said, how much? I'm just curious, you know. Very musty and smelly. There's no moth holes in this. No moth holes. I wouldn't even know how about going to clean a vintage jacket like this. But this is a total score here. That's going to go on display somehow. I don't know how I'm going to display it. There's no badges to display it with. I have to find somewhere to connect these buttons on there. They're just a bonus that they were in the pocket. But again, at some of these events, people had their chance. These have been here time and time again. Some of those rings on eBay sell for a lot of money. I was just bidding because no one else bid. And so it's out of their way. And I got a really good deal, had a really great time, saw a couple people I knew, and didn't spend a lot of money and didn't come back with way too much stuff that I can handle. Hope you enjoyed that. Let me know if you've ever been to a Scout trading event or whatever, tradeory or whatever you want to call that, collectory, and thank you for watching.